You record. Oh, it's doing it. Thank you.
Yeah. Okay, so for exam 1, I'll ask you like 10 questions, 8 to 10 questions, right? And the format for this exam is you would have most of the questions as short answer questions, right? So I'll ask you about, say, for example, what is microarray? What is genomics? What is proteomics? If you remember, we went over the slides, right? Some slides from that PowerPoint. So there would be some definitions. And the more you explain, more points you get, right? So if I ask you like, what is genomics? It can be like a 10 points question. So what is it? And what is like, what are the technologies which are used for studying genes, right? And so on. So just go through the PowerPoint, and you would have some short answer questions from that PowerPoint. I will give you like a Word document, right? So I'll just email you a Word document at this time at 1 next week. And then I'll give you, say, 35 minutes, right? 35, 40 minutes to answer those questions, short answer questions. So you type in your answers and you email me your Word document. Once that is done, then there would be one R script question, which obviously would be on microarray, because that is the only topic which we covered, right? So there will be one R script question on microarray, and that question would be like probably like 25 to 30 points, max points. And so the exam 1 is of 100 points. We have exam 1, 100 points. We have exam 2, 100 points. And then I have some in-class assignments which I give you. And then I have your attendance, right? So all these three things will give you their final grade. Yes.
Exactly what day next week do you want to do the test?
Next, this time, Tuesday. Yeah, Tuesday. What?
Okay, and so you're gonna post the PowerPoint?
So the PowerPoint is on the website, right?
So if I'm understanding correctly, the question part of it, the short answer is gonna come from the PowerPoint, correct?
Yes.
And then whenever we have to do a mark script, it's basically like what we just do in class.
Yeah, so I will give you like an assignment today, in-class assignment, which will prepare you for that question. That would be on microarray analysis, right? So I'll give you some idea on what you can expect for that last question. So short answer questions, I don't think you should have any issue. Just go to the PowerPoint, go through the definitions, and you just have to write short answers, right? The more you write, more you explain. Say, for example, I can ask you, what is normalization, right? Normalization. So I asked you to write gave you an assignment, right? So assignment to explain what is RMA normalization, what is MS-Phi normalization. So you just have to explain that. So more you explain, more you describe things, then I give you more points. So that's with your first few questions. The last question is the microarray question. So for that question, you have to use your R software, right? So make sure you come with your laptop, right? You have your laptop, you have your R working, and I think you should have the Affy installed. You don't need to reinstall those microarray analysis packages again, right? So once you're installed, you don't need to reinstall it again. So you have to make a new R script. Okay, for that question, you have to make a new R script. You type in your answers or your statements for your analysis, save your R script, and if I ask you to make some plots, right, for that microarray, so if you remember, we had some box plots. So if I ask you to make those plots, then make them and save your PDF. So plot PDFs, and you would email me your R script and those plots to get full points. If the plots are missing, or if your R script is missing, then I'll deduct points, right?
Okay, so making box plot, or that is an example.
The box plot. So if you remember, like we read in some cell files, CEL files.
No, I understand what you're saying. I'm like, so for our exam, is it box plots we are doing, or just an example?
It's a smart question. No comments.
Thank you.
Okay, so all right, so I'm expecting your R script, and in the R script, make sure you mention the comment, right? Because I need to know your name for that script. So R script and the PDF for your plots, and the Word document for your short answer question. So three documents, right? Please, you should email me. Don't upload on Git. Okay. So because you some same questions for next semester also, right? So so don't upload on Git. Email me your answers.
So email you the Word document.
Word document, R script, and plot.
Also email you everything.
3. Yeah, email. Yeah.
So the R script is what we'll be emailing you.
R script, the Word document with your answers, and the plots.
Okay. So we don't need to make plots, right? We don't do anything for the R plot and the MS.
I may ask you that question, yeah. So, okay, so any questions with exam 1, right? So we will have, so you would have to show up in the class, right? And then once everyone is here, then I'll email you the document. And in the document, you have to type in your name and type in your answers, right? And make sure the answers are your own, right? So obviously you have access to your internet, right? So you can just like Google answers, but then but if you just like copy paste the answers, then I'll obviously like no, right? You have to like copy it from some other source. So make sure you type in your answers in your own words, and try to explain things. And you can also like make some figures or diagrams, right? As what I did in our class discussions. So I don't think you should have issue with the short answer questions. Okay. And I'll be here, right? So if you have questions, you can ask me during the exam. All right. So that is that. And so today I won't teach or discuss any new things, but I want you to practice on this last question, right? So the last question is it would be like 30 points question, that R script question. So I want you to do today's in-class assignment so that you should be prepared to answer that question. Okay. Exam is 100 points. Okay, 100 points total. The last question would be like 30 points. Okay. All right. So what I want you to do is, there is a data, for example, the data which I want you to work with is Okay.
So that problem,
Mm.
for the test, will we have to do everything from the beginning, like even saving the samples and converting them to cell files and R script or?
So I'll email you a folder.
Oh, okay.
I'll email you a zip file, folder. In that folder, I'll provide you cell files.
Mhm.
So you have to read those cell files and probably do a normalization and do a plot and probably write the result and then email me those things, right? So I'll give you the files.
Okay.
Okay, so what I want you to do is, so I'll just email you this link here. And for this R script question, you have access to your repository, to my repository. So you can look into your previous R scripts as a reference, right? So I have your emails. Okay, who is late? Attendance? And okay. What you have to do is you need to go to this link here. And download 4 cell files. Next, set working directory to these 4 files. Read these 4 files with library Affy. And perform RMA normalization. Finally, plot and normalized BoxPlots. Load R script and plots on your. All right, that's what you need to do. That's it. So I'll just email you this assignment. Okay, so check your email and you should have an assignment. So to do this assignment, you have everything from the previous R scripts. You know how to set your working directory to these cell files. You know how to read these cell files, and every step is in sequence, right? So first you download the files. Second step is set your working directory. third step is read Affy function to read your 4 cell files. Next is RMA normalization with RMA function. And finally, you do box plot with a function box plot for raw and for RMA normalized data. The box plots you have, save them as PDF and upload your R script and the 2 PDFs on your Git repository. And that completes your assignment. And you should expect a question, right? Similar to this question for your exam 1. Okay, now let me know if you have any things or any issues. That's all we are doing for this class, okay? Okay, on the Zoom call, Charles
Yes,
and Tanisha, you got the assignment?
yes, sir. So is that gonna be, so you said similar to the test, so we won't have to do like the, after we had did the box plots, find the means and average and all of that, we won't have to do that during the test, right?
I will not ask you the means and averages.
Okay,
Yeah, I'll ask you like I'll ask you similar to this question because you have like 15-20 minutes to answer this question, right?
okay.
Yeah. Okay, I won't ask you anything like unexpected. Everything which we discussed, which we did in class, that is what you'll be expecting. And if you have questions, please ask me today, right? Because I may not help you in the exam. So if you have questions, today is the class to answer, to ask them. Yeah. You need to unzip them, right? Because those would be in the GZ format. So you're using Windows. How do you? GZ files in Windows. Do you have WinZip? WinZip software. You just right click on the on each file. What options do you see? How did you do it before? So this is the software. It's called, it's a free software, WinZip for Windows. Yeah.
So I'm trying to unzip my, if I send you documents, would not be this file is very comfortable.
Yeah, you don't need to open it, right? So see, you can see this. So I just download this file here, cell file here, right?
I've downloaded it.
Yeah, so I just click here and it is down, it goes here. It's a GZ format, right? So I'll click once and it will, in Mac, it unzips on,
Okay.
Yeah.
Take mine, it's already on.
so you see like I have the unzipped cell file here, right? Yeah. And once you have those unzipped cell files, you put them into a folder, into one folder, any folder, and then you have to set your working directory to that folder. That is what we did. So you just have to. Yeah. Just drag.
Yeah, but make sure you add the ground. Yeah, make sure.
Yeah. Pick one. Pick one. Okay. Any other questions? Yes. What?
If I was deleting all the other cell files off my desktop, I can use the same working directory. If I just replace them. I don't have to do it, because I don't have to change my working directory at all.
Okay, so we have like one trick, right? So if you are having trouble setting your working directory, right? So I'll give you one hint. If you are having trouble setting a working directory, then just delete the files from previous folder and replace the previous folder with these new files, right? If you are having issues setting a working directory, but
So I had to convert mine from
GZ
GSEA to zip and then unzip it to get the cell file.
we need cell files, so
Yeah, it was. I had to zip it, then unzipping it from them to from GSEA to the cell file.
yeah.
Okay.
So you were able to do that?
Yeah.
Okay, great. Yeah, you.
Then can I just want to put it in a folder and use that to like set up my work directory. That's fine.
Yeah, so you can just replace the previous files with these 4 files, right?
Okay, let's get to the old one. Oh, hey,
Yeah. No, plus sign becomes expecting, you just what do you call it? What do you call this thing? So in comma?
Yeah.
Yeah, you use that end count to do so if it's plus, then it's expecting something, right? So you just escape, so you come out of that thing, and then you redo it again with yeah. And then use the error, cannot change the working directory.
Yeah, I want to make sure I download the right.
Set WD users desktop GSC1. Okay. Right, because you should, I'm not sure if I can show you, you should avoid these spaces.
Yeah, you said I should do
Avoid them. You should
Avoid.
not,
I get what you're saying. So
change it to like some dash or.
Yeah, we have
It's
to
just,
I have to do it like
you
that.
have to set it to.
Yeah, that works, but you should never use,
Just numbers.
yeah, number, avoid the spaces.
Find the direct.
Okay, right now, remove that space. Cannot change the working directory.
Did I download the right file?
Go back to the transcript. You can just right, this is small.
I think I'm doing it. That's my speed too.
No, because it's in downloads, right?
Yeah.
It's in downloads. So downloads,
And does that always have to be capitalized?
which one?
Right, when you're looking for your,
Yeah, everything as your folder is, right?
okay.
And then inside downloads is a GSE folder, right?
Mm-hmm.
Within that GSE folder,
I have to down.
yeah.
Oh.
This tablet. The GSE, and then inside GSE you have GSE 1. It should work. Now it's in the work here. Now you can see the
Okay, and then I have a question to make sure I'm downloading that. I was supposed to that.
yeah. This one is good now.
Okay.
Good that, right? That's fine because we just just like one folder with 4 files. You can download it like single file, or you can download this folder with all 4 files. Yes.
I said I'm working there with you already.
Okay, I'm like,
I'm trying to figure out what that chart would be.
look on that.
15?
No, 20 seconds. Exactly. That's.
I don't know if I said working there with you.
Same as what I emailed you. Just fine.
What's the app for? Huh? What's the app for? The app?
Affy?
No, you take out your and you get turn me. How you do it? What you do? I'm playing with the things you know, it just changed the name of and it worked.
That makes sense.
Okay.
Cause it's everything else is down.
And we have a file system in here.
Yeah.
Okay.
Cause I'm doing like this. It won't. I don't know what I did. I just did like that. I'm like, thank you. And you do make that now?
What?
Yes.
If you have an error, what is the error? Yeah, tell me about the error.
You type in library.
Oh, you gotta do library. Okay.
Just a question.
Yeah. Yeah, that's the error, yeah. Yeah, so she also has the same error. Yeah, you should have an error. Just give me a minute.
Okay.
And I did it when I was online, so I'm reading out to you. That's not my big error now.
Yeah, and you did, yeah, and I did this. You said reacting, now it's got those errors.
Yeah, you should have an error. Yeah. Just, you should have an error. Just give me a minute to fix that.
I ain't got an error. You did? I did. You put reacting. I put a library back. Yeah, I did that. Yeah, all my stuff down. Oh, it was. Yeah, I mean, it worked. It was red. Girl, I just be telling it. No, red means worse. Unless it actually said error. Yeah, all your that stuff came up. What? When you did BoxPlots, you said. I'm doing it now. Yeah, I'm saying I don't got that error either.
Yeah. So yeah, everyone has that error. So I need to figure out how to fix that.
Just let me know when it's there.
Yeah.
Is there error? Yeah.
Consistency and what soon and taste this vanilla.
See, I'm thinking about it. Yeah, okay. You got that too, right? Okay. I just wanna know where. I was just seeing your message.
Okay, so you're having an error because we are missing a library for that platform. So I'm trying to install that missing library. Hopefully, if this works, then we should have the box plots and the normalized plot. Let's see.
So when you're installing it to the whole R console.
Yes,
Oh, so you're in control of the R.
my R console.
So what you're doing, we have to do to our own.
Yeah, just let me check first if it works.
So if we do different folders again for the test, we probably have to.
No, it's in test. I'll make sure everything works.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So I was not expecting this issue here, but okay. Okay, so all right, so this is a little different. So so what is different with this R script? Yeah, exactly. Right, library. So we use library Affy, right? But this platform, so I just looked into here in an uh, in this error. Uh, so you see that there is this forum, right? So this is the forum where they would discuss these issues. So someone had this issue, and this is exactly the problem we had, right? So CDF something, right? So this is the error we get on our console when we try to read those files. So the problem is that this is a third generation Affy matrix array. So it's like third generation platform, right? So they have first generation, second generation, third generation. So as they move up, then they try to like change their platforms or change their softwares. So this library Affy, someone says that it may not work when you try to read in those cell files, right? Third generation cell files. So we have to use a different library called Oligo, right? So I tried to see if we had this library installed, and we do have this library installed. So could you run this statement library Oligo? See if you have this installed. It should have been installed from our previous installations. So let me know if you have any error loading this library. No, right?
I have an error.
What's the error?
Is that the error? There's no package.
No. Okay, so that's fine. We can just reinstall it or make a new installation. So what you do is, okay, so you need to run this installation statements, right? So what you have to do is just Google library Oligo. The
So,
first,
excuse me,
yeah.
I have a question. So if we using library Oligo or library Affy during the test,
So
how will we know?
yeah, in the test, I'll give you Affy platform files.
So us downloading the library Oligo today is not going to be needed.
Not for your exam, but you may need it somewhere in future.
That's literally me. I've been taking stuff off my laptop.
Okay, so I am not going to give you data which is this library specific. I'll be giving data which is Affy specific, right? So if you don't want to do this, that's fine. I just want to explain you how to do it, because microarray technology has been in use for quite some time, like 10 years, right? So many things change in like 10 years. So people try to refine their libraries, people try to add in more probes on their platform, on their chip, right? So once you do these things, you need to make some changes to your softwares. But this is how I did. So I just loaded a new library called Oligo, and as we just said, yeah.
When they ask us, they also.
No, enter, yeah.
And then do the rest.
Yeah, and then do the rest, yeah. So then I just set the working directory, and with so do you know how you read files with Affy? What statement do you use?
Yeah.
Library Affy.
For reading files?
Yeah.
For reading files.
To read the file.
What is the function name? Read Affy, right? Read Affy. Read Affy. So you use read Affy to read the okay guys, so you don't have to do this. I'll just explain because I'm not going to give you the question on this library. So I'll just explain. So please, yeah.
Before you explain, I have a quick question. Me downloading that on the R console, the dataset in my iPad?
No,
Google.
no. Okay, settled. Let me explain. Please look here on your screen here. Okay, so what we have done here is we are using a library called Oligo, and to read the files in Oligo. Do you see line number 3 here, statement 3? So it's different, right? So it's different. In Affy, we use read Affy function, right? This is what you would have to use. You will have to use in the exam, read Affy, right? But for Oligo, you are using two different statements, line number 3 and line number 4. So what do you think we are doing in line number 3 here? As the name suggests. Yeah, exactly. So we are just listing the cell files in a folder called files, right, which is on my desktop. So we are listing the files. So there should be 4 cell files. So you list the files in line number 3, and in line number 4, you read the files, right? So read.cell files, that reads the files. So line number 3 and line number 4 are different for this library, but for you it's easy with function read Affy, right? And then I have the raw data, right? I have my, so okay, so instead of raw data, what was your variable for Affy? ESET. You got it? ESET, right? So then you just use your function BoxPlot and ESET, and you should get this BoxPlot, right? This BoxPlot, right? And then you do your RMA. So what is the function for RMA normalization? No, no. What's the function for RMA normalization? What is the function? RMA, right? Yeah, RMA, that function. That's it. That's the function. Yeah, that's the function for RMA normalization. So once you do that, you don't have to run this. No, that's fine. So I just want to explain, and then so you have this box plot for raw. Then I will do the same thing with RMA function. I'll have a box plot for RMA, and then I can compare, right? So the reason I wanted for you to practice is I wanted you to use library Affy, function read Affy, function boxplot, and function RMA, right? 4 functions. I wanted you to understand how to use them quickly, because I'll just give you like 15-20 minutes to do this to answer this question in the exam. I want you to know how to read your cell files, then do a box plot on those cell files, then apply your RMA function, and then do a box plot on RMA normalized cell files. Right? And that's it. So just practice it this week. And it's just like 10 minutes, right? Just 10 minutes. And the cell files, I'll be giving you the cell files in a zip folder, right? So I'll just email you a zip folder. In that zip folder, you'll have like 3 or 4 cell files. You download it, read it, and generate the PDF plots for plots. That's all.
So we won't have to zip those files, correct? unzip those files, the ones you put on there?
I'll give you a like one zip folder. In that zip folder, you will have 4 cell files.
Okay.
Yeah. So yeah. All right. So I will upload this R script on my Git repository. You don't have to do it because it's a little different. It's a little tricky. I was not expecting this Oligo library here, but that's fine. But this would be your question for first exam. All right, that's all what I have for you today. Do you have any questions with our next class, with our exam? Do you have any questions for our exam? Okay. So make sure you come on time. I'll email you the exam questions at 1 on Tuesday, right? Next week. So you all have to, okay, so people who are on Zoom call, you need to be here next week, right?
Okay, yes, sir.
Yeah, Charles, are you there?
Yeah, I'm here. So I need to speak to you separately because I can only come on Thursday to take it in person.
Okay, just email me. We'll figure
Okay.
out. Yeah.
Also, just to clarify once again, the PowerPoint that the short answers are coming from, you're gonna upload it on what?
So the PowerPoint is on our website, right?
No, I'm gonna see the site right now.
See, we have our class, this thing here. You have this link?
Yeah, this is like a
Yeah. Okay, anything else? If not, we are done. I'll see you for our exam next week.
Okay, have a great day.
You too.